So you've woken up again, shivering, shaking, fucking on the bathroom floor. But, you said to yourself last night, oh, I'm not going to fucking drink that much. 4 beers, that's it. But here you are again, covered in spew, shit in your pants, disappointment in your heart. You've realised that, things have to change. The truth is, things do have to change. If you're waking up every day, shit in your pants, diarrhea, disappointment, fucking hangovers, over and over and over again, saying that this is fucking normal, I'm telling you, it's not normal. How do I know this? Because that was my life for 20 years. Every day, saying to myself, today things will be different. Getting to the end of the day where things weren't different. They were just a fucking repeat. Repeat of the misery, repeat of the pain, repeat of the disappointment, and repeat of the same fuckery over and over and over again until eventually something did change, because something had to change. You might say to yourself, oh, it's not that bad yet. You know that little word, yet? Because when you go to work and your gut's grumbling and pumping and you have that diarrhea, one fart away from shitting your pants, that's not normal. That's your body keeping score. That's your body telling you that, things have to change, because alcohol is poison. Poison to your guts, poison to your gut lining, poison to everything that's deep inside you. And you say to yourself, oh, well, maybe I've got a food allergy. Oh, maybe I fucking ate something that was crook. Truth is, you're not allergic to food. You're putting shit in your body that's fucking up your guts. So every time that you do that, your body is saying, hey, dickhead, there's something happening here and it's not good. So you need to start taking these signals, and you need, it's like, hello. I used to go to work and just be like, one end of me was gonna blow, either me pants or me stomach, or maybe even both. That's if I got to work. But I'd get to work most days, hungover, sweaty, cold, shivering, shaking. But I'd get there, do my best to get through the day and get to that beautiful 3 o'clock to have my drink. But you say to yourself, like I said, you say, oh, my body's just sensitive. I've got a food allergy. You're not sensitive. Your body's just fucking telling you that it's done with this abuse. It's done with the poison in your body all the time. You don't have to live your life basing your destination, your journey around, the toilets in the area. That's not normal. Because if you're doing that, that's your body saying, look, something has to change. There's something wrong with your body. And you say to yourself, oh, well, it's normal, I've got a crook guts, and you go to the doctor and, oh, I've got some food allergies, and you do all the tests and the doctor says, no, you're all good. Must be something else going on. Do you drink much? Oh, no, maybe 1 or 2 beers at night. Oh, well, that's okay. But that's bullshit. That's a lie. Because you don't want to admit how many beers or how many alcohols you're drinking, how many units. You might be drinking 100 units a week, which isn't that much when you think about it, really, is it? It's only like 5 bottles of bourbon, or what is it, maybe 3 or 4 cases of beer. Not much. Really, is it? Is it? But the truth is, it's probably a lot. They say that, the average person can, or the average man should only have maybe 3 or 4 units a day. So what's that? 15 units a week or something? No, I don't know. Something minuscule. But Nobody drinks like that, do they? Really? You know that drinking's good, isn't it? No, because you say to yourself, well, you're not an alcoholic. You've got a job, got a family, go to work every day, go to the gym sometimes. You know, still function, and it's called function. Yeah, well, when we function, functional is still functional, isn't it? But when you look at it, functional alcoholism is still alcoholism. It's just a fancy way of saying that you're doing life with your hands tied behind your back, with a bottle in your hand, and you're not in control because you're in denial. Every Monday rolls around and you wake up shivering on the toilet floor, fucking covered in spew and shit, and you say to yourself, "Not again." And you spend your whole life surviving between the weekends and hoping that you get there, and then. But for me, there was so many wake up calls that I didn't listen to, I didn't hear. The time that I shit my pants, time that I shit my bed, time that I spewed all over myself, the time that that I'd have to look in my pants and wonder if the brown man came. The public accidents, pooping your pants, vomiting bile, vomiting at work, and just saying, "Oh, I must be crook," and not being able to just function. But these aren't just stories. These are the things that happened to me, and these are the things that probably happened to you. And you say to yourself, well, it's not that bad, but it's not that good either. Life doesn't have to be like an endless cycle of spew and poo and misery. There's got to be something more. And as we get older, in my 20s I was able to drink like champion. I was fucking championship. In my 30s, my tolerance goes down a little bit, and eventually, as in my 40s, went down even more, and then that's when your health starts to deteriorate, and then because your body, it's not weak, it's just worn out from all the drinking and the fuckery. And you just think, well, as we drink and get older, it doesn't age well. You start off as the fun guy and you end up in the fun guy like the Mushroom Man, full of bullshit. And, and I guess as we get older, we go through like an identity crisis that we still want to be the fun guy, but fun. What started as fun ends up in misery. Trust me, I know. Trust me. You don't have to go. You don't have to go to hell to realise that you're on your way. You don't have to arrive with your ticket already purchased to realise that it's not a fun place to be. But every time that you buy a ticket down at the bottle shop to go to hell, you're getting closer. And every time you get closer, it gets harder to get away from the journey. And you might say to yourself that you miss the buzz and you miss the fun and you miss the enjoyment of it all, but you never really drink it for fun. And you ask yourself, well, if I don't drink, who am I? If I don't drink on Friday night, what do I do? But you'll find something to do. There's a lot more to do in life than sit around getting pissed. And the reason why things aren't that exciting when you're getting pissed all the time on a Friday night is because, and then you stop, is because alcohol has taken over every part of your life. So a lot of the interests that you have revolve around alcohol entirely. So the interests that you do have are just gone. The more that you drink, the less interest you have. So like when I was drinking, and I stopped drinking, I was like, well, fuck, now what do I do? And the thing is, you just find stuff to do. But when initially, it feels like real empty space. And I guess that's one of the things that you have to learn to deal with, is that emptiness and the silence and the space that you have to rebuild your life. And it's an opportunity and a challenge, but it's more of an opportunity because it gives you the space to build something new. And you've got the space, you've got the time, and you start to get the mental clarity to sort of go, well, okay, well, what do I want in my life? And you use that space to build something great. And you don't have to build fucking something great the first day. It's about evolving. It's about day one, just focus on getting well. Day two, focus on getting well. And then the first week, you're just focusing on getting through the days. And as the time goes on, you're like, well, I'd like to try that. And then you try that. And then I'd like to try this. I'd like to learn this. And the more clarity you get, the more you actually get to know yourself, and the more you actually get to grow and become the person that you want to be. But how do you do that with that monkey on your back? Well, you have to start replacing some of the habits that you're doing by having sparkling water, by, starting to be a bit more healthy, starting to make healthier choices, starting to put things into your body, doing challenges, getting a brotherhood, getting people to support around you, and really step out of that shame cycle. Step away from beating yourself up for all the fuckery that you've done in the past. Because when you know better, you do better, and when you do better, you get a better result. But you can't fix what you did yesterday. You can only fix what you do today, and you can only change what you're going to do tomorrow. But the only thing that you need to focus on is day one. Every day that you wake up is day one. I don't count the days anymore. I don't need to count the days. I just make the days count. And it's an important distinction to realise that you don't have to count the days. It's like when, people say when you go to AA and stuff, they're like, oh, I've done 375 days and blah, blah, blah. Some people need that sort of, that daily affirmation that they're moving towards something. They're having a goal and they're achieving each day. One of the things around that, one of the problems that I see is that if you get stuck and caught in that, I've got to do, day one, day two, day three, and counting those days is day after day. If you have one little slip, if you drink one day and you're like, well, I've gone back to zero, and it's like an all or nothing approach, because it's not an all or nothing. Sobriety isn't about not drinking for, 500 days or 600 days or whatever the number is. Sobriety is about not needing to drink one day at a time, and not worrying about whether you have a drink one day. And I'm not saying that, I'll go and have a drink tomorrow. What I'm saying is don't focus on that, because if you focus on having an all or nothing approach, if you did slip, that can be a spiral back into the abyss. But if you just go, oh, well, it's just a blip, start again tomorrow, make better choices, move on, then it becomes less about destroying everything that you've achieved rather than just staying on the path. And that's a distinction, because if you've destroyed everything, if you've got your 600 days up and then you had a drink on 601, you would feel, and this is not true, that those 600 days would be lost. But that's not true. You still have those 600 days, but now it's just a signal, that something needs to change, or you're not on track. You need to do something different. And if you take that as a signal that, hey, I'm a bit off kilter here, or I had a drink, what did I do? What did I learn? What can I do differently? And how can I move on from that? Rather than going, well, the 600 days are gone, it's all shit, and let's get back into the abyss. And when I say that, it's not about giving yourself a, get out of jail free card. It's just about, you don't drink today. That's all you have to focus on. One day at a time. Stack the wins day after day. And don't worry about keeping score, because life keeps score. And, when you're shitting your pants at work, covered in spew at home, Life's keeping score. When you're disappointing yourself, when you're disappointing others, and when you're disappointing your potential, life's keeping score. When you've got legal trouble, when you've got health trouble, when you've got mental trouble, when you've got relationship troubles, life's keeping score. And how do you put the score in your favour? You take away the thing that's tying your hands behind your back, putting you in handcuffs of misery, and that's alcohol. And you need to do different things to get a different result. And when your body's telling you that, fuck, I've had enough, when your guts are telling you, I've had enough, that's a signal that this shit isn't worth it. But yet, it's just another signal. I mean, you'll get many messages to say, look, things need to change. You either hear the warning, heed the warning, and change, or you don't. And what I've seen over and over again, played in my life and played in other people's lives, is that the more that they ignore the signal, the louder the signal gets. And what starts off as shit in your pants ends up losing your job, losing your health. I remember I woke up in hospital after a stroke, tubes down my throat, directly related to drinking. Thinking, oh shit, I can't breathe. That was a signal. Did I hear it? A little bit. Did I stop drinking? No. But it was the start of my journey out. But there was more pain to be had, and you don't have to go. Like I said, you don't have to go to hell to realize that you don't want to go there, because eventually you'll get there and you'll be like, what the fuck is this? How the fuck did I get there? The further along the journey you are, means that it's just going to be a little bit more intense to get out, but that's okay. How do you get out? How do you buy a ticket out of hell? You don't drink just for one day. And you do that over and over and over again, and eventually your life will completely change. Don't take my word from it. My life's changed from not drinking. One little change. My life isn't miraculously cured, but I no longer pay for the privilege of destroying my health, my mindset, my relationships, my family, and everything around me. That's the thing. We buy alcohol, so we pay for the privilege of fucking living in misery. That is just nuts. You know, all under the guise, all under the lie that we're having fun, all under the lie that we're relaxing, all under the lie. How do you get away from that lie? You write down all the fucking lies that alcohol tells you, and then right on the other side, all the fucking truths. Oh, alcohol relaxes me. Yeah, how fucking relaxed are you on a fucking Monday morning when you're waking up with a fucking hangover? It's not relaxed. How relaxed are you when, you know, you're waking up with one eye open, fucking asking yourself, what the fuck did I say last night? And, you know, who did I hurt? And what misery is fucking coming today? You know, these are the lies that we tell ourselves so we can continue on our journey of getting pissed. But the truth is, things need to change. And life has a way of changing regardless of whether they do or don't change in a positive way. Because what happens if you don't change? Life changes for you. So what does that look like? That looks like, well, say for instance, you don't believe that your drinking needs to change. What will happen? Whether you want this to happen or not, is your health will decline. Your mindset will decline, your relationships will decline, and eventually all you'll be left with is a bottle. You'll be shivering and shaking in the corner, shitting yourself, fucking wishing that you were dead. But it doesn't have to be like that. There is another way. There is a solution. And it's a really simple solution. It's not rocket science. The rocket science part is to get to the point to realize that things need to change. And you already know that. If you've listened enough of what I've got to say, you know that things need to change and things will change. Like I said, things will change whether you want them to or not. The change that you want to make is a positive change. So the most positive thing that you can do is stop drinking. How do you do that? Like I said, you start to replace it with different things. You start to change your mindset, change your identity, change your beliefs, change the way that you do, change your habits, change everything. But you don't have to change everything today. It's just one little step, one day at a time. And it's like, how do you plant a tree? With one seed. And then you water that seed daily and eventually a tree comes. And just like your life will grow like a tree if you just start to water it with healthy habits, with a healthy mindset, with healthy things. And then start moving your life in the direction that you want. That's why I created Kick the Piss, is to help men like you change your life, put you on the path, and move you in the direction of your life that you want to grow, and learn to be that person, be the man that you want to be, one day at a time, one choice at a time. So go to kickthepiss.com, watch a free training, and let's grow together, because you're worth fighting for. Let's go, kickthepiss.com.